Hey folks, Philip Lombo here with Automated Marketing Strategies, and I wanted to share with you why motivation isn't always enough to be successful with your marketing. So over the last couple of weeks, I've had a challenge with my daughters when it's time for bed and they have to brush their teeth. Now, typically, it's such that my wife and I we would help them get ready for bed, put the toothpaste on their toothbrush, give it to them. We get other things ready. They brush their teeth and say, "I'm done." Okay, and we move on with the rest of our going to bed routine. But over the last couple of weeks, we've had a challenge where um, give them the toothbrush, and then 10 seconds, maybe 30 seconds later, they call out, "I'm done." And it's like 10 seconds, 30 seconds of brushing, you cannot be done. So I said, okay, well, let me solve this, right? So I told them, I said, okay, well, just for each part of your teeth there, just brush it 10 times, okay? So, you got to go all the different parts of the teeth. So, they're counting 1, 2, 3, 4. And that worked for a little bit. And then I started motivating them, started raising my voice, yelling, "Hey, you got to do this," or whatever, right? Trying to, in this case, use a stick to get them to brush their teeth for a longer period of time. And it's really having a challenge with it. But the other day, we were at the store, and guess what I found? And this, if you're not familiar with it, is a Firefly toothbrush. It's nice that it's Hello Kitty as well, because they love Hello Kitty. But here's how it works. So there's a little button here, and when you click on it, it turns on this blinking LED, and this stays on for a full minute. So now, instead of my girls having to count or for me to motivate them to do that, all they've got to do is click on the button and just look at themselves in the mirror as they're brushing. Once it turns off, they're done. Okay, and I'm satisfied. They have clean teeth. Now it's time. Now it's time for bed. So what does this have to do with your marketing? Well, a lot of times when we look at trying to get our prospects and clients to do things, we look at some ways to motivate them, whether it's a carrot, a reward, or a stick, something not necessarily punitive, but that is really focusing on just that motivation aspect of it. And there's another way that you can approach it, not to say throw away the motivational parts of it, but to kind of supplement what you're doing, and that is shaping the environment. So in this particular case, the environment was the toothbrush, okay? So we made it such that now there is something that will tell my daughters this, start and stop, okay? So it had nothing to do with their motivation, although, they like the toothbrush stuff, but ultimately it's a system where we changed what was going on around them, the circumstances, and now we're all getting the results that we want. So how does that apply to your business? Well, let's talk about a couple ways to do that. But of course, you can apply this to many, many different things that you might be doing now. So let's talk about following up with your prospects, okay? The people that have come into your office, into your practice, into your place of business. You've talked to them, and you need to follow up with them, right? That's a potential deal. Okay, I'll follow up with them. I'll put them on my task list, and you can kind of tie it into some rewards at the end. Well, this client might be worth X amount. Okay, if I actually land them, so let me follow up on them. But see, again, that is still relying on kind of internal motivation. So how can we change the environment in that particular case so that the follow-up gets done? Because that's ultimately what we want, right? We want the prospect to feel connected to us. How can we do that? Well, on a basic level, you can actually have your calendar system remind you to do it. Or if you want to get more advanced, is have a system do it for you. So if you have a CRM or customer relationship management system, you can have the system send those follow-ups for you, whether it's an email, whether it's a voice blast, whether it is a postcard or a letter from you. You can have the system, some systems, depending on what you're using, take care of that for you. And then at the end, only when you really need to be involved in the follow-up will you go in there and maybe it'll remind you, hey, we've hit this step in our process now. We followed up with them already for 7-8 times. Now it's time for you to step in and give some personality to it. Okay, so that's one example. Another example is with your testimonials and referrals. Do you make it easy for your staff to collect testimonials and referrals from your clients and patients and customers? Do you make it easy for your clients and patients and customers to give you referrals and testimonials? So an example of that is, say, for example, you have a medical practice, right? Maybe you're a chiropractor, you're a doctor, and a dentist. And at the end of the patient's visit, maybe they came in for a regular checkup, right? There's some opportunity there, especially if it's such that they enjoyed the visit, that you can make the environment more feasible for getting testimonials and referrals. Well, what's one way you can do that? Well, as they're waiting, okay, for things to to settle down, maybe they have to settle out their bill, whatever it might be, give them an iPad, right? And there is a series of questions. Listen, we want to make sure that we are doing right by you and the rest of our family of patients. Would you mind just hitting a couple buttons here and letting us know how we did, right? So the iPad, will collect that survey from them. Now, and get really advanced with it is you can have it such that you use what we call a Net Promoter Score. An NPS, where they can rate you on a scale from 1 to 10 as to whether they would recommend you to somebody else, friend, a family member, whatever it might be. And what you can do is, based on that, you can gauge what comes next. So the system will say, okay, well, they rated me a 9 or 10. That means it's very, very high. They're really likely to give me a referral. They're really likely to give me a testimonial. So if the system sees that, yes, I got this, a 9 or a 10, then the next page will be, oh, great, would you mind giving us a testimonial? Oh, and by the way, would you mind giving us a couple of people that we could send a gift to as a way of thanking you and possibly helping them with any situation that they might be having, right? If it's such that it's 8 or below, then don't ask them that because they're not in that environment. But you see, I mean, that gets a little bit complex. But that is an environment there, self-contained environment that nobody has to be motivated to do all of that stuff. The system does it. There's a system in place, right? And in that particular case, it's an automated system. Nobody has to think about it. They just have to react to what pops up, okay? So that's what I mean by using not only motivation, but also a change in the environment so that you can get the results that you want. Now, why do I share this with you? Well, chances are, if you're watching this video, you have questions about your own marketing systems and approaches. If that's the case, I welcome you to reach out to me. I deal with this every single day, and I'd love to have a conversation with you. So if you'd like for that to happen, simply go to powercallwithphil.com and request a strategy session with me. Well, that's it. Cheers to your success. Talk to you soon, folks.